All right, so this reading is for Sagittarius. This will be for sun sign, rising sign, moon sign. Happy birthday to all the Sagittarius who are in November for this month, and happy early birthday to Sagittarius for December. Okay. Forgive and forget. I want to be where you are. That's from a song, by the way. If you know who Steve Lacy is, that song Sunshine, that's where that's from. And I want to be where you are. Let the Light In, also from another song from Lana Del Rey. Father John Misty, let the light in. I'm at your back door, yeah, something. Okay. Months. 444. Divine protection. What I'm getting for Sagittarius is a relationship, a connection that was unrequited. It just didn't work out for whatever reason. Could be you didn't want them, they didn't want you, whatever it was, it just seemed to be something that wasn't in the cards. But that's not always a bad thing. I always say that people are really meant to be experienced. You're not meant to hold on to people for dear life and to be like this with them, and that's not realistic. And if you've ever read what was it, that one book, Deepak Chopra, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, the Seven Spiritual Laws of Success, I believe law of detachment is one of them. And when I first read that, I was like, no, no, not true, not true. That's not true. That's like the worst rule. But that is so true though. Like if you are able to just to love somebody for who they are and to be grateful for the experiences that they brought you, you can take so much power from that and you can move forward a lot easier than having this mindset that you're supposed to, that you belong to them, they belong to you forever and ever and ever and ever. And sometimes there really is just a season and a reason. So it may have been that you cross paths with this person so they can learn from you, or maybe so you can learn from them, whatever it is. But if there's something that you're holding on to that's just bothering you, it might be in your best interest to make amends with that. You don't always have to make amends with the person because you can't control other people. You can try to apologize all you'd like if something was on you or vice versa, but the truth is you can't control other people. The best you can do is just move with your best foot forward with good intent, and just know that you did the best that you could have possibly done and just be okay with that. I feel that's what this card is. It's a reminder that as humans, we're all capable of mistakes. As humans, we're all capable of of moving forward, evolving, adapting. And that might be what this situation calls for this particular dynamic. It might not have worked out, but maybe that was the whole point. Maybe it was not meant to work out. And it was meant for you to learn something, to learn what you might want in a future partner, what you might never want to see again in a future partner. And I want to be where you are. That in itself is detachment. It's in the context of that song, it's how I took it is they really don't care how it is that the other person treats them. They just want to be in their energy. And that in itself can be so intoxicating and deteriorating all in the same breath. So, this is about choosing what might be best for you in this scenario, in this particular moment in your lifetime, and allowing yourself to benefit from the blessings. Sometimes we don't figure out why a certain person was brought to us until way, way later, way after the fact. And that's kind of the whole purpose of hindsight. Like, you're not really supposed to know now. You're supposed to figure that out later. But you don't have to hold grudges. You don't have to, villainize people just to see a way out. Sometimes it's as good as You cross paths with this person because they put you on to a good taco shop. Like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's really not that deep. It's really not that deep, but sometimes it is that deep. And if it is that deep, then you really got to make sure you put your best foot forward in healing and taking care of yourself. Um, okay, months. And this may have been something that was pretty pretty quick. Maybe it was fiery, maybe it was passionate, maybe it was also super quick and it didn't really evolve into a full relationship, and maybe that's what bothers you. Like, I think most people are when they enter situationships or those types of non-traditional dynamics. I think what really tends to bother people is the fantasies of the what ifs. And that is such a dangerous hole to get into because it's a black hole. It's like you're just going to fall into an abyss and you're not really going to get much out of it. And you're going to keep fighting your daydreams, your fantasies, and all that kind of stuff. And none of it has foundation. The most that you can do is just build off of what you have already experienced. So for people who are fighting the idea of like, oh, like I lost out on what could have been the best possible partner. We could have done this together. We could have done that together. We could have done this together. How do you know? You know what I mean? How do you know? How do you know? The truth is, we don't know. The best, if they showed you, like they never opened their door for you, or they never opened your door for you, they never foot the bill, they never did anything that kind of showed that they cared, or like why would that make sense that they're like the best possible partner ever? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to think of things that way and fall into the level of, well, what if, well, what if they were the worst person on earth? What if they were also a serial killer and you didn't even know yet? What if, like, they, the list could go on. The list could go on, to be honest, but that's the whole point. The list could go on. So we can only go off of what we know, and we can just, the best we can do is just trust that it was for a good reason. It was for the best for us. It was maybe the best thing for that other person, so on and so forth. 777. And then this one, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Whatever hardship that you're going through, whatever conflicting emotional, mental state you're in, it seems to be temporary. I really, really feel like I am feeling relationship energy from this, but I'm also feeling toxic cycles from this. Meaning, toxic cycles, for an example, I just feel like you're breaking out of it. And maybe a little bit of karma is involved as well. And I don't mean karma in the sense of you didn't hold the door open for an elderly person and now you got hit with like the worst situationship of your life. Like, no, nothing like that. What I'm referring to is when things come full circle, it's like like this is done with. It's over with for as long as you allow it to be over with. And I think that's why this card calls to me too, because when we don't forgive and when we don't forget and we feel the need to constantly be involved in an energy that doesn't suit us, we feel the need to get our lick back. We feel the need to have the last word. You keep indulging in that energy that doesn't serve you. So when you're not done with that energy is not done with you either. And if you're in a toxic cycle with negativity, misery loves company. And that's how people get stuck in these toxic relationships where, let's say, like, there's some infidelity going on, right? And this person cheated on that person. Okay, well, now that person has such a distrust in all people that in the next connection that they come across, they're gonna cheat first so that way they can be in control. And then the other person cheats. And then it's like the cycle continues. And that's just an example. That's not what I feel like this whole reading is about. That's just a very loose example. But I think for as long as you decide to heal, forget, forgive, move on, you do allow new blessings to come enter and bless your life. But I don't feel that it's just romantical vibes going on. I also feel like for some of you it may have to do with the relationship that you had, or are healing from toxic cycles. Let's say with food is a good one. A lot of people do have unhealthy relationships with food, or weight, or your health, things of that nature. And they're, by toxic cycles, I mean, like maybe you get stuck looking at old skinny pictures of yourself, and you really start to beat yourself up about it, and like, why did I do that? Why didn't I just stay on track? Why did I ever give up on that diet? Why didn't I just do that marathon? Why did I do this? Why did I do that? And then you just start stressing yourself out over the what ifs. What if I stayed on that track and I could have been this and I could have done that? Honestly, you don't have control over any of that. The best you can do is just focus on what you can do today to achieve whatever goals that you might have. And there is a lot of healing involved with those types of toxic cycles as well, because they're self-inflicted. We do that to ourselves. And it's like, the more you do it, the more you start to create a belief in yourself that you can't do something, that it's not going to work out for you, because that's all you've seen so far. So it's also about releasing those patterns and old thought processes that don't serve you as well. Sometimes you have to like break up with those types of things in your life as well. In summary, the conflicts that you were facing in physical, romantic connections, those hardships are temporary. They won't last long. But it's up to you to move forward from it. Same thing with health and wellness, and whatever conflicts that you have going on with things that are not relating to romance, intimacy, relationships, etc., etc. It's also up to us to move forward in the best way that we know how to as well with that. Okay, so that's all I have for Sagittarius. Good luck, keep going, heal, give yourself grace, and the next tarot reading I tend to do, oh my gosh, the next reading I plan to do will be for Leo. I don't think I've done one for Leo yet.